Mexicana.
Todo el mundo tocando palmas.
Cumbia.
Cumbia, cumbia. Hey, ¿quién es el mazón?
Number one. Señor Miranda.
Soy medio rumbero, rumbero y salvaje. Bailo a mi manera, como los primates.
All right, it's another night of Gordo
y Flaco Chisme Hour.
and here we go. Flaco, introduce us.
Well, at this time, it's la hora del Gordo y Flaco Chisme Hour. We'd like to give a shout out to everybody that's watching in the surrounding areas. Midland, Odessa, Hobbs, all the way down to South Texas and El Valle.
Laredo.
So we have people watching from all over. We want to welcome y'all tonight. Tonight's going to be a very special night. We have a very special person with us tonight. If you know anything about the boxing world, you'll know exactly who she is when we introduce her tonight, guys. Just want to say thank y'all for being with us. What else you got, Gordo?
Hey, man, it's Tuesday.
It
and
is.
my daughter just did her STAR test, Flaco.
Her STAR test for the school?
Yeah.
How did she do?
Well, you don't know until they grade it.
Oh, okay. You're right. They don't get the test right away.
Yeah, they don't.
I just thought with all this technology, they'll get it like really quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. No,
So-
not no more, Flaco. No.
Not no more. Hey, real quick, before we do introduce our special guest tonight, why don't you give everybody a little update what we're going to be doing here in the future? Show them that little...
Oh, snap, bro. Hey, man. So, shout out to Lupe for this amazing idea, man. We're going to give you guys an opportunity. Gordo and Flaco open mic night, baby. Join us the last 30 minutes of our podcast every Tuesday. Last 20, that should say last 20 minutes. I apologize, guys. We're going to have 4 5-minute sets. It is your time. You take center stage. Me and Flaco come off the main screen. We give you 5 minutes. It is a great opportunity to try out new sets or anything. Now sign up. Sign out with either me or Flaco. Remember, only 4 spots for 5 minutes. Every Tuesday, Flaco.
If you think you got what it takes, hey, try it right here. You don't have to do it in front of all the people. You can do it in front of everybody on the internet and see what they, hey, we'll see what you got. This might be the beginning of something new for you.
Yeah, man. You want to try something new? That'd be the way to do it.
That's right.
I know I'm doing 5 minutes.
Right. Well, with no further ado, I think it's time to go ahead and we're gonna wait. Hopefully, some more people get in. So we're gonna what's up?
We need some music. We need a song. Wait, we need Eye of the Tiger or Algo Way.
I want to bring her in with something that she's used to coming into, because you know what, guys? With no further ado, this is the one of the best, if not the best, female boxer that of all time that's ever boxed under Don King Productions, to come in and to fight under undercard. How many people can say they fought on the undercard of Mike Tyson, Julio Cesar Chavez, big names, and to take the fight of the night? Nobody, not that many people can say that. And that I know of, I don't think no one really can say that. Just, I mean, man, I got an opportunity to meet this person. Very awesome, down to earth person. Like I said before, if you have not seen her documentary on Netflix, you're missing out. You have to go watch it. Everybody that I've told here in town that's gone to go see it and looked it up, man, they've said the same thing. Man, I wish I could meet her in person. Like I told them, tonight's your night. You can come on, you can ask questions, anything that you'd want to ask, and she's willing to answer. Come on and check it out. Well, like I said, with no further ado, let me put her little intro music on.
As the greatest female fighter of all time, a 3-time world champion from Coca-Cola, the Coleman Dog.
Someone heard.
All right. Let's bring her in. There she is right there. We have Christy Martin live with us, ladies and gentlemen. So, Christy, how you doing tonight?
I'm feeling great. You know, it's always good to come and hang out with you. We had such an awesome time down there in New Mexico. Well, we were in Hobbs, New Mexico, right? With
Right.
the Violence Center and the boxing, and everybody down there was awesome. It was a great event, and we got to meet each other. So that was, we formed a relationship that's going to last forever.
That is so cool to hear, because I've been telling everybody, she's my friend. She's my friend. And I was like, I hope she don't make me a liar or something. Like, no, I'm not your friend.
Yeah,
But
you are, and that's the kind of person I am. Once I kind of catch on or hook on to somebody, you stuck with me for life.
hey,
That's awesome.
I don't have a problem with that. Like I've told everybody, I mean, when I met you, I came back and I told my wife, and I was smiling from ear to ear. Like I told you that night, the way you felt fighting on the undercard of Mike Tyson and Julio Cesar Chavez, that's the way I felt that night meeting you and being there with you. But I mean, I've told everybody about your story, and I've told everybody I was like a little kid going back to work that Monday, and I said, hey guys, you're never going to guess who I got to meet. I took my phone out and I showed everybody, and I said, y'all know who she is? And some people said, well, I don't watch boxing. I said, well, watch Netflix. And I pulled it up on my phone and showed them the little trailer. And they're like, oh, wow, you met her? I said, yeah, I met her in person. I showed the pictures of your wife and then yourself, and I picture. And man, it was just so, man, we're playing shuffle cards here. What's going on, Gordo?
Right.
I'm trying to get the perfect image, man,
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Yeah. So I just told everybody, I said, man, y'all have to watch this. Her stories, just inspiring and stuff. And I told my partner here, I said, man, I would love to bring you back down to this area on a good time to be able to share your stories, not just with ladies, but a lot of people think it's just women that get domestically violence, that they get abused. And I actually met a guy, and I don't want to go into details. I don't want to give who he is, but I never thought myself that it was the other way around. I've never pictured a lady beating up a man, and he's going through that. So I don't think it's just ladies itself. I think just the story in general is something everybody needs to hear. And somebody brought it to my attention at work. They said, not only do adults need to hear it, and they had a great idea. They said, you ought to bring her down to be like a speaker for not only for adults, but for high school, to teach these men coming out of school on how to treat a lady and not be domestic and not to be violent, and know how to control their actions and not just catch them before it happens. And I was like, you know what? That is a great idea, because I would have never thought of that.
Well, absolutely, it's breaking the cycle. So there's lots of things you just said that I need to comment on. One, domestic violence is not just physical. So yeah, I mean, we don't expect that some woman's going to be beating up on a guy, but it's also because domestic violence is not just physical. It can be control. It can be stalking. It can be financial abuse. And I mean, we don't expect, here we go again, we don't expect it to be the female financially, taking control and not allowing the male to have money, or you have to be accountable for every penny that you spend. It goes all ways, all facets. It can be so many different ways. It's not just about the bruises. That's the number one thing. I often tell people that I've spoken at prisons, at schools, at a lot of domestic violence shelter events, and different types of events. But the most important audience that I think I spoke to, they brought me to a high school, an all-boys Catholic high school in Chicago. I was really nervous about speaking to this group, not knowing how they were going to react, what their response to me was going to be. They brought me into the gymnasium. Both sides were full. I stood in the middle of the basketball court talking, both sides, could not have heard a pin drop the entire time I spoke. And then they asked me the best questions that I have ever been asked. And I'll tell you right now, like I can't recall that exact one question or 10 questions that they asked, but I just remember walking away thinking, wow, they were listening, they were prepared, and they had thought about this subject. But not just had they thought about it, in that particular school, they have domestic violence awareness as a part of their curriculum. these are the things. This is somebody that's really about breaking the cycle. It's not just about, they're not just somebody that's talking about it. They're acting about it. And that's what we need more people to do. But you're absolutely, I mean, and that is my point of, you're absolutely right. To come to high schools and talk to both the boys and the girls and explain to them that domestic violence isn't just physical. It is about being very controlling and, not wanting or not allowing your person to talk to their friends or hang out with their friends, or, sometimes go spend time and go to the movies with their friends. I mean, you have to be well-rounded and have to have other parts of your life, not just that partner.
Right. I mean, and a lot of people think it's just, like, I guess for somebody that would be here locally, if try to speak out to somebody, it's kind of like, I guess I compare it to like a parent. You talk to your kids daily, you give them advice, and it just goes in one ear and out the other. But someone else comes in that can relate with them. They take it in a little bit more. And I guess with your background, they will listen to you a little bit more because they don't see like somebody with your fame to say, well, you would never gone through that. That only happens around here to us people, or, people that don't have no money or live in poverty or whatever. But it's not that. It's not a, when I talked to you that day, I think that's what I loved about you so much, is like, you're down to earth. You didn't, I mean, like, and you can connect. I connected with you and I didn't even have none of those problems, but I could connect with you because you're just a down to earth person on how you spoke and the way you carry yourself. And I think, I mean, you doing it, speaking to people, you get through a lot more than somebody around here locally that they just see like, well, a lot of people always try to say, well, there's two sides to the story. Did she deserve it, or did he deserve it, or what did he do, or what did she do? And I have someone in my family, two people in my family that went through that, and very, very close to me. And it hurt when they had to go through it, because as a parent and as a family relative, I didn't know how to deal with it. You know what I mean? I watched your story and I saw your dad's reaction and your dad's stuff on there. And it's just, it's something that you don't believe that would happen to you until it happens. And then to be able to respond to it is very, very hard, because you're as a man, your first thoughts was, I'll kill that person. I'll go do this. I'll go do that. And sometimes we got to sit back and just think about it. Okay, what would God want us to do? I know that's not the right thing, but my human flesh, that's what I want to go do. And just to hear you that day and to watch your story, man, I was just like, it gave me comfort as a person to say, if you can go through this and live life, then I need to find a way how to get through it. Like, you've never forgotten, and I don't know if I don't know, I've never asked you, I didn't ask you that day, but in your heart, you're forgiven to be able to move on, but you haven't forgotten what's happened. Am I right or wrong?
You might be giving me a little bit of more credit. I mean, to forgive somebody for shooting you and leaving you for dead. I don't know. Have I truly forgiven him? I definitely will never forget it. And, I see it now. It was just something that happened in my life. He told me for 20 years he would kill me if I left. So it was like I was prepared for this to happen. I knew this was going to happen. There was no doubt in my mind that he was going to kill me that day. I mean, I had told some friends, he's going to kill me, but I'm not going to run. I'm either going to figure out how to live through whatever he does, or I'm going to die, but I'm ready for whatever. And I had surrendered to, I fought as long as I can fight. I'm ready. I'm done. But as I said, halfway through, after being stabbed and pistol whipped and, he's beating me up and it's just switched. No, not today. You might kill me, but it won't be today. And I meant it 100%. No, it wasn't going to be that day.
Yeah. Christy, let me ask you this, Christy. At what point in your life did you go, I got to create this organization. I got to create Christy's Champs?
Well, so from the hospital, after being shot and stabbed and being in the hospital, I made a deal with God. If you get to make deals with God, I don't know. But if you will leave me here and let me live through this, I'm going to save one person's life before I die. And then, as I say, the arrogant me, the cocky Christy Martin, the boxer, kind of came out and said, no. I'm going to save one person's life every day. So in order to do that, we had to create Christy's Champs. And with Christy's Champs, now we're at christyschamps.org, and we're speaking. We're going to, like we talked about, to schools, to domestic violence, black tie events, in any event black domestic violence shelters have. We're going to fight any place, boxing gyms, any place somebody will let me talk about domestic violence awareness. I'm ready. I'm on the plane. I'm ready to go there and just share my story, talk about domestic violence, because people see it as, it's taboo. That's where we don't really feel comfortable talking about this. No, we don't. But that's what makes us, those are the things that need to be changed, the things that we are not comfortable with. And this is something that we're not comfortable with. So we need to change it.
Tell us a little bit, the people that are watching, and they will have questions here in a little bit. There's some already coming up. What got you into boxing? Because I watched your documentary, but what got you to tell the people, what one day you just said, hey, I know you played basketball and stuff. What made you want to just say, you know what, let me put on the gloves. Let me go box.
Crazy. I don't know. I was in college. My degree is in education, but I don't know. And I'm from Southern West Virginia. It's a really small town. We don't have a lot of things going on there, but we have this tough man contest. And we're flashing back to the 80s. We're not talking about right now. So in the 80s, it was a big deal. Every time, every night, it would last like 2 nights, and it would sell out the little armory. I think it seated maybe 3,000, 3,500 people. It would be sold out, jam-packed, standing room only every night. And I kept telling the promoter, you need to have women. Why I thought this was a good idea. Why I don't even know how I dreamed this up. Like, this is something that we should do, but I did. And so finally, after, a couple years, they added the women division. I almost said women's boxing, but it's really not. Tough man. It's 3 1-minute rounds. You use 16 or 18 ounce gloves, headgear. And it's just, you just go out there and wail. Both the guys and the women, of course, that's all the women for sure knew how to do. And the guys, some of them knew how to jab, but most of the time, 20, 30 seconds, and everybody was gassed. But because I was a little bit of an athlete, I was playing basketball at college, I was in better shape. So even if I fought some big women, and they were tough, but I was in a little bit of shape, a little condition, and was able to win the fights. And I just loved it. I loved it. And during the time I got a really good knockout, 1-punch knockout, and then I was hooked. The crowd went crazy. I'm like, wow. And I thought, this is pretty fun. I don't know. I loved it for some crazy reason.
I gotta ask you this question, right? Because not only am I a big boxing fan, I'm a big WWE fan, right? and the thing that I love the most, besides the chingazos, right? The fighting, is the entrances.
Yeah.
Did you ever sit down and go, I'm gonna come out with this song, and I'm gonna come out like this, and I'm gonna do this? Like, did that ever go through your head? Like did you ever picture your interest?
I put some time into which song I was gonna walk out to, but never, now that's part of the show. It's so much more of a show now, boxing, than it was in the 90s. And I would think definitely about the song, because I wanted the crowd to feel the energy and to get hyped up and ready to see me, that I was going to put on a good show. And then I also wanted to pick a song like one time I came out to Who Let the Dogs Out. It was popular at that time, and then I'm like, that's kind of showing that I'm coming to fight. But most of the time I came out to Coal Miner's Daughter, because that's like, it just,
Your nickname.
It's my nickname. And then it always made me think about my dad. And I don't know, it helped me. And then I think that it like the fans kind of started to connect. Oh, this is Coal Miner's Daughter coming out. So now when I'll be at boxing events and people, I don't know if they don't remember my name, but they remember Coal Miner's Daughter.
let me ask you this: if you were in this time and now, what would be your entrance? Not only your entrance song, but what would you think would you have like to show? Like, man, I'm out here.
You know, I'm so old school. I think I would just stick with the way I did it. You know, real calm and slow, and
Like when
nothing.
Mike Tyson fought Jake Paul, he still came out with the towel.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just, you know, that's my era. And I really honestly feel like I was in the last really great era of boxing.
Yeah.
Fighters fought each other. Fighters fought tough fights. You know, they fought more than one time a year.
Yeah.
Boxing's a mess now. I mean,
It's called money fights now, right?
Come on. We got to get our champions have to be active. People don't even know who the champions are. People have lost faith in boxing, but they've lost the connection. Used to, everybody knew. There's one person everybody knew, and that was the heavyweight champion of the world. I don't even know if I can't actually tell you who the heavyweight champion of the world is. You know, after Tyson Fury and who beat him?
Reed.
Name is gone.
I don't even know. I don't even know his name.
Anyway, I just can't think of it. But I mean, those were like the last names that I know, and I don't even know who's champion right now, and that's terrible.
Let me ask you this, Christy, because you are somebody big in boxing and stuff, and your name is up there. I've asked different people locally that box, and I've gotten different answers. And I'll give you my answer after I get yours. How do you feel Jake Paul is to boxing?
You know, love him or hate him and what he's doing for boxing, he's bringing eyes to fighters. And I'll give you two examples. One, he is absolutely giving women's boxing the biggest shot in the arm that they could get. I mean, he's taken Amanda Serrano under his wing and paying her, number one, but putting her on, you know, on the undercard when he fought Tyson with Katie Taylor. Great fight. The first time they fought in the Garden, they sold out the Garden. They're getting ready to fight again, the number 3, and it's going to be an all-women's card. I hope that all-women's card does well. And I know that in his mind, he's just trying to help women's boxing. I would like to have seen him sprinkle a couple young upcoming male fighters on it. Put them down put all the women fights on the main event, the co-main event, but let some guys be on there as well. Just for those old school people that won't tune in unless there's guys on there fighting, so we get more eyes and keep more eyes coming to women's boxing. But he's giving these young male fighters an opportunity. My fighter, Tony Aguilar, has fought on about 4 MVP promotions, including Jake Paul versus Mike Perry undercard. Never would he be seen by that many people without fighting under Jake Paul. Now, so it's up to you. It's kind of like the night when Don King gave me the opportunity to fight under Tyson Bruno, and Gogarty and I stole the show. You got to be ready. When you're given an opportunity, you have to be ready. So he is doing that. Yep. He is giving an opportunity to so many fighters.
Now I'm going to give you my answer on that. And I see both sides. And to me, I boxed growing up until I was about 14. So when you said earlier about the Tough Man, going back to the Tough Man, that was when you're talking about the Tough Man that Butterbean and all them fought in, that they traveled and they'd get the best fighters, and then they had the quarterfinals and all that stuff. Absolutely. So going back to that, you know as well as I know, when you did that Tough Man, for people that don't know what that is, you didn't have no training. You just saw it was coming into town, you signed up, and you went out there and you gave it all you got. And like you said, some people gassed out because they thought, wow, 2 minutes, no problem. Until you get in the ring, it's a long 2 or 3 minutes that you got to go. And you want to just go all out. And then before you know, you're like, how much time? Oh, you still got 1.5 minutes. Like, oh, my God. Let me run around for a little bit. So with that being said, to be a boxer, it takes a lot of training, a lot of running, a lot of knowing how to breathe and how to control yourself and how to go the distance and how to protect your body to where you don't get beat up just in case you do have to go the distance. And with that being said, when I saw Jake Paul, I understand the business part of it. The only thing I don't agree with sometimes for me, it'd be like, you know, you train so hard to get that opportunity at a title shot or a big shot or to something else. And to come off of a YouTuber and to fight big names and calling out big people, I understand why he's doing it. Like you said, today's time is a lot of show, and you want to sell those tickets. And you want to get that platform as big as you can to get these other people. But as sometimes in my own eyes, I feel like you jumped everybody that's put in the hard work to be able to get there and just to get that shot when you didn't go through the rankings to earn that spot. And you just went from a YouTuber having a lot of followers, which is sad today. That's what it's all about, is how many followers you can get, is how much your fame is going to be, not so much of how much work you put in. And I see it from both sides. I see the business side, but I also see the boxer side, because you train so hard and then some guy just out of nowhere, just because he's in shape or whatnot, and he's got, you know, this big following thing, and they want to see him fight, and either he gets his butt whooped or win, or he comes out away with the win. You know, to me, and sometimes it's people, I see it as like, okay, is it rigged? You know, yeah, he's fighting a lot of old fighters, but I mean, I don't know. It's just sometimes I'll be honest with you. I don't watch his fights because I'm thinking, you know, I see these other people that come up, and I understand the platform, but I'm just like, man, I know the struggle to go out there and just put the grind in from when you were little, and like yourself, you know, I remember in your documentary, one of your purses was like what, couple of bucks. You had to sell tickets. Yeah. So, and that's the part I kind of frown down on the Jake Paul thing, because I'm like, I understand what you're doing for the business part, and you are bringing viewers back to boxing, but it's just like, man, could someone else just step up and do it because they came up through the rankings?
It's like, I 100% I agree with you. It's hard. You know, you can't hate on him. The guy figured out how to get paid, and he's getting paid, backing up the truck to the bank. You know, he has to take 2 trucks to the bank.
Right. That's right.
But and you're right. That's hard. It's hard to explain to these young fighters that are coming into the gym at, you know, 10, 12, 9 years old, and telling them they have to put this work in to become a champion, to get to that place where, you know, in our time, Chavez was, Trinidad, all these great fighters, because they can turn on the TV on the internet and see Jake Paul. And so they're like, but he did it. And he didn't have to do all these amateur fights, and he didn't have to do this. All he did was have a social media presence. Right. So they're right. And he's right. You know, and it's a tough sell. It's made it harder and harder, because now I have young fighters that I promote. And clearly, I mean, I can't pay them what Jake Paul can pay fighters to be on his undercards. So it's hard for them to understand. No, everybody's not going to be Jake Paul, but everybody's not Floyd Mayweather, and everybody's not Mike Tyson. So you have to make your own niche. And I tell my fighters, you can't just be another guy. Even if you knock everybody out, we have the kid, Victor Jalapeno Hernandez.
Jalapeno.
Yes, he has an NABA featherweight championship. He's in the WBA family of fighter champions. He's Mexican and Puerto Rican. I said, no wonder you like to fight. You've been fighting your whole life. You know, you got that internal fight going on. But I tell him, you got to make yourself different. He has 12 wins, 10 by knockout. But I said, just knocking people out is not going to be enough. So he has a little shimmy he does, and he has, you know, a good little spill with the jalapeno and taking it in, and going in, it's burning, going out, it's burning, you know, all this funny stuff he says. But you have to make yourself stand out. And otherwise you're just another fighter. That's
right. Hey, real quick, guys, I want to send a special shout out to, because we're talking about women's boxing. Mandy Fuentes is Laredo's own amazing female boxer out of Laredo, Texas. She's making her comeback next month to the ring after losing her husband. After being out for a year, almost a year and a half, maybe even 2, making her come back to the ring. So Mandy, good luck from Gordo y Flaco, and we're actually sponsoring her. Gonna be on her trunks on May 17th as she takes the ring after being on a hiatus after losing her husband to cancer. So, Mandy, good luck.
Yeah, absolutely. Good luck.
Hey, let's go back to your gym. Let's shine a little bit of light. A lot of people don't know that you have a gym and you train. You're shining some light on the jalapeno, man. Where is your gym located at, and like how many boxers do you have, and what made you get back into boxing in that way? Because I know I talked to you in Hobbs and you were talking about the promoting side, and you're like, it wasn't for you. You rather get back into the training side and doing the gym and stuff. So shine a little bit of light on your gym, and if anybody's interested in joining your gym, how would they be able to do that?
Yeah. So right now we're actually, I don't have a gym right now. I don't have a gym, but we are looking for, we're looking at for some property in Florida. We're going to be building a training center down there. Hopefully starting it before the end of the year. I do have about 10 young fighters under contract as a promoter. And that's where, I feel like I have been able to fit back into the world of boxing. I know how, oh my goodness, I felt so excited, so accomplished. So I can't believe this moment, fighting in Madison Square Garden, fighting in Las Vegas at Caesar's Palace and MGM Grand and all those cool places. Of course, we didn't have T-Mobile Center that they have out there now, but all the places that were the places during my time to get to be part of those events, fighting with on the undercard with Tyson and Chavez, Trinidad, as I said before. I fought on cards with Roberto Duran. Are you kidding me? Tommy Hearns.
Oh, wow.
Was on one of the cards that Tommy Hearns was on. It was just crazy, the legends that I got to be close to, fighting on the show with Lennox Lewis, fighting Evander Holyfield was on card with Tyson. It's crazy. My career was crazy. I really came at the greatest time that any fighter could come through. And Don King was my promoter. Love him or hate him, he gave me, and by giving me, he gave women's boxing an opportunity that no other promoter was willing to give. And had he not given me that opportunity back in the 90s, would we have women's boxing where it is today? Who coming along would have thought, wow, let's give these women a chance? And what woman would have taken that chance, and what promoter would have taken that chance? Maybe no one. I really think that, Don King was just inducted into the Women's International Boxing Hall of Fame a couple weeks ago in Las Vegas.
Wow.
He needs a lot. That's a positive. We can check lots of things in Don King's columns, but that's one that needs to be checked in the positive column.
Absolutely.
It's funny you mentioned Caesar's Palace. I just literally saw a documentary about Caesar's Palace, and Caesar's Palace was the place to be. It was the place. If you got a shot to perform at Caesar's Palace, you were doing it. You were there, because the CEO mentioned, the old CEO back in the 90s was like, we didn't worry about ticket sales. As long as it said Caesar Palace on there, it was gonna sell. So that is the Madison Square Garden of Las Vegas. It was in that time.
For sure. I mean, that was where all of the I don't know how old you guys are, but the Dean Martins and the Red Foxes and all those guys were ringside. Wayne Newton, they all came to support the fights, the outdoor. I mean, we fought outside
outside, yeah.
So it was really awesome to get to say, hey, I got to fight at Caesar's Palace one time. So
Muhammad Ali, who did he fight? I can't remember who he fought, but it was Muhammad Ali and somebody else. It broke records. I can't remember the fighter he fought, but it was on the documentary.
Might have been Ernie Shavers, but I can't remember 100% who he fought at Caesar's.
And if you fought there, you were doing something right.
Absolutely. I fought on the undercard there. Tito Trinidad fought David Reed, the main event, the night that I fought at Caesar's Palace.
Boy, I ain't Tito's name in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to watch a lot of boxing back in the day, like I said, when I was in boxing, and I think, like you said, it's changed. A lot of it has changed. It's lost a lot of viewers. I know a lot of it went to UFC and stuff. A lot of people started watching that, a little bit more brutal. They wanted to see more blood and more fighting, so they went to go watch that. And like you said earlier, we don't even. I mean, back in those days when you heard Julio Cesar Chavez fighting Hector Macho Camacho. I mean, it was boom, pay-per-view everywhere. You know, you knew who the champion was.
Right.
You kept up with it. You kept up with Tyson. You kept up with everybody that was going. Lennox Lewis, all these people that were coming up. You wanted to see them. You know what I mean? And you know, back in those days, I remember when Tyson would fight, everybody be like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to get pay-per-views. This is only going to last one round." You know?
Yeah.
What seconds? And but it was still, you wanted to watch it because it was always like, could this be the day that someone gives him a run for his money? You know what I mean? And no, it was exciting to watch it. And now I think it's lost a lot. I mean, it's lost a lot of viewers and a lot of people starting to think, you know, and some of it is not the fighters, guys. I mean, you can't control the judges, you know, and some of the judges, you might think, well, hey, you know, what fight were they watching and whatnot? But that alone gives boxing a bad name because people are starting to think, well, you know, where are they boxing at? They're boxing in this state. Well, you know, there's not. They got these rules. They got that rules, and I mean, I kind of put it like the NFL. You got too much stuff now to where it's not like what it used to be. You know what I mean? You got too many rules. You got people changing this, and I understand they're looking out for the health of the boxer, but like your very first fight, a fight like that today, I think would be stopped a long time ago because y'all duked it out to where y'all were fighting toe to toe. And I mean, if anybody watched that fight and being that there was women, I'm surprised that they let it go as long as they did and they let it finish, because today, I don't know if that would be the case. I think, you know, I saw some fights the other day that on a headbutt, you know, it was just on USA, you know, just amateur fighting and stuff, pros. And it was just a headbutt, you know, and it wasn't really big, and they stopped it. And I was like, really? They're going to stop it on that? So, I mean, the times from then till now is totally different. It's like it's making it more softer, I guess that's the word I would use to say. You know, they're not able to push him to the limits. And I don't know, I'm pretty sure you remember this one. I tell everybody, and it was an undercard fight. I think it was Oscar De La Hoya fighting, and there was two brothers, Rafael Orielas and Gabriel Orielas. And one of them was fighting Garcia, and Garcia actually passed away in that fight at the end of the fight. And a lot of people don't know that fight. I watched it live. And like I tell them, I mean, I'm not saying that's what you want to see, but the comparisons of then and now, you went all out. You better have heart. And that's one thing, like I mean, everybody that I've told about you, there's a girl at work that I work with, and I told her about you, and she watched your thing, and she's like, well, I thought I was bad. She said, I thought I was tough. She said, I ain't got shit on her. She said, she is tough, man. I was like, yeah, I mean, and you know, toughness is one thing, but having heart is a whole different thing, and you have both of them. You have a lot of toughness, and you
beat me to it, bro. I was about to ask you, how do you have so much heart, Christy? How do you take so much pain? It hurts me to watch your fights.
As far as in the ring, I never saw this pain. I loved it. I loved my job. And if you hit me hard, I just wanted to hit you harder. You hit me 2 times, you know, go ahead and hit me 3 times, but I'm going to hit you hard 1 time. And it's only going to take 1 time. I'm going to hit you hard enough that you're going to slow down. You know, it was just a crazy mentality that I had. And as a fighter that wanted to be fan friendly, it was perfect. It was perfect. Where it came from, you know, I think I just had a lot of inner turmoil that I was fighting, and it came out in the ring. It was legal. It was legal in the ring.
Yeah.
Now you said you're fan friendly, but
I don't know.
Let's shine some light on this. When Gordo was asking you about your intro and your music and what you put into it and everything, you know where I'm going to go with this. With their question is the hyping it up. A lot of people don't know you fought your wife today.
Right.
And that interview and that press conference and that weigh-in, there was some trash talking going on. You weren't too friendly with the opponents. You really, and I mean, I didn't know your whole, when I first watched the documentary, and you know, I knew who you were as a boxer, but then, like I said, I didn't really follow up with the whole story back then. And when I saw the whole documentary, your whole thing, I didn't know your life that well. So that was a curveball to me when I threw it. I was like, what? So, and when I watched it, I was like, I wonder how it is today. You know, they talk so much smack. And today, now it's like, well, you know, it was just part of the show. You know, how to sell tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, Don King was always telling me, Christy, go up there and tell him how you're going to knock him out. Go tell him this, go tell him that. But I think part of it was a game for me. And like specifically with Lisa, she was big. She was strong. I knew I had a tough fight in front of me. So I wanted to make her angry. I knew if I made her angry, she would come out there and load up and try to knock me out. She was going to try to hurt me. Well, that when you lose your mind and you don't have control of your game plan, you get angry. I got you.
You make mistakes.
You make mistakes. And I was ready to, I mean, she wanted so hard. I'm going to knock her out. No, she wasn't, because I was never going to stand right there in front of her. But no one, you know, we'll say 90% of the people never thought that I could box and move, because I didn't choose to do that. I like to go out there and let's just fight. But because I'm also a little bit smart, and I knew that it wasn't my night to stand in front of this opponent. I knew that to beat Lisa, I could make it easy. And for whatever reason, that was probably the best fight of my career. I mean, I used my skill. I bobbed, I weaved, I slipped, I was sliding and having a good time. Even though at the end of the fight, you can see that I'm totally exhausted, because for 10 rounds, I stayed focused and I didn't make too many mistakes that night.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that, because do you know the fighter, UFC fighter Conor McGregor?
Oh, yes.
He is he starts fighting you right here before he even gets into the octagon with you. And if you're weak-minded, he done beat you. Opponents that have beat him are so strong-minded, but the ones that he has beat, he beats them here. It's just like, I'm going to crush you. I'm going to.
Think back to all those guys that Tyson knocked out during the 90s and like the late 80s. He beat so many of them before they ever got into the ring.
Yeah.
Because they feared him. I mean, because the person that they had fought before him, he knocked him out, and he was so savage. I mean, he was brutal. He didn't care. He beat so many people. You can see that on their face. They were just, oh my God, how much of this am I going to take?
Yeah.
So,
you make them feel so uncomfortable. You get them out of their comfort zone, and you're like, you're coming to my zone.
Yep. And to touch on that, Christy, I coach baseball, and what you said about the mental part, I try to preach that as much as I can to these kids that I coach baseball to. You know, I coach them all the way up, my son all the way up to high school, and they would lose against a team once or twice, and after that, they were done. They were defeated when we even got to go play them. And I tell them, life is a challenge. If you can stay mentally tough throughout your life, you will accomplish a lot of things, regardless if you fail. And like I tell them, some of the people that's failed, and have made it big, have failed so much in their lives, but they stuck with it and they stayed with it mentally. And that's what I tell them. Baseball, any sport, boxing, baseball, football, if you can stay mentally tough and focus on what your goal is, you can come out and win. You can win. And I don't care, like in baseball, it's kind of like boxing, how much you train. And like in baseball, it's like, well, you got more skilled players and you got this and you got, it's more of a team. And then boxing is just an individual. And a lot of people will look at the stats and look at what they had and look kind of like boxing, look at your record. And with that alone, you're already walking in defeated or with a doubt in your mind that I might not win this. And as long as you start to believe that, you're not going to win nothing, because you're already
look at the Andy Reese fight when he fought what was it? Was it Deontay Wilder, or what was his name? Andy Reese. Who did he fight?
Eddie Ruiz.
That was supposed to just be a job fight.
Right.
It was supposed to be just a beat him up real quick and call it a night. Dude, he won the belt.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. You can't, in anything, but especially boxing, you can't just mail in a performance, because you don't know what that other person has that's motivated them to get ready for that fight night. Sometimes something's happened in their life that gave them just a little extra motivation that they're going to put on a performance that we didn't expect, have never seen, and really didn't think they had in them, and maybe they didn't know they had it in them, but they're going to do it that night. They're ready. Some little extra motivation for some reason is going to set them above something they've never done before.
So, Christy, as a promoter, you're a promoter, right? You talk to your fighters. What advice do you give a fighter that, let's say, has lost that confidence, has lost that man, the mind is just not as strong as it was, What do you tell them?
You have to tell them exactly how we were just talking. You have to tell them that get back up on that horse. You've still got this. Get back in the gym. Get back in the ring. Maybe give them a little softer opponent, but not a one-hitter quitter, and let them build their confidence back. Sometimes you have to crash and rebuild, and that's just what we do, especially with young fighters that have a reason to doubt themselves. Maybe they had a poor performance, or maybe they lost a fight, and now we need to get them back on the winning ways. So we need to get them in with somebody a little softer, a little slower, just so they can work on their mistakes. They can improve on the mistakes they made in the fight that they didn't win. So you just have to rebuild and stay positive. I'm a 100% firm believer that once boxing becomes your job, you need to retire. You have to do this because you love it, because this is what makes you tick. This is why you get up in the mornings. This is what you 100% want to do. It's not like being a doctor, a lawyer, any other thing, working at Walmart. No, those are jobs. Those are jobs. But when you decide that you don't, boxing is a job, retire. And if you're just doing it to chase money, retire. This is not for you. Do it on the side. Do it as a fitness routine. But speaking of boxing, the fights, promotions, we have a card coming up May 17th in Mayhem in Music City, Nashville. I'm doing a show at Fat Bottom Brewery, and it'll be our first fight in Nashville. The card is loaded. We have Curtis Harper, heavyweight, on. That's really.
Oh, he was actually on.
Curtis Harper?
He was on. He commented. Let's see here. Where did he put? Right here. Is it Kurt Harper?
Yep.
True.
Yep.
Christy is so kind and is true to her word.
Yep. So,
So-
he's my guy. So he's this big guy, and I had him as an amateur fighter. Big guy, right? And I call him Little Man because he's just, I don't know. I love him. He's like a top 20 kind of guy that we are looking to move into that top 10. So we're going to give him a great opportunity to fight in his hometown in Nashville. And, he's going to rock the house. I 100% know that he is going to rock the house. We're bringing in a Deshaun Webster, who's a tough guy. That's going to give him a little challenge, but we'll see. I'm a promoter, not a protector. Everybody's going to have to go out there and fight that night. We have Coach Louis Spencer, who has coached numerous amateur fighters in the Nashville area, is making his pro debut. We also, Coach Louis is my puppy. A lot of people see me with my puppy Champ. He's Champ's coach. So Louis is going to get that opportunity to turn pro. The card is loaded. I'm bringing in Devin Parrish, Christy Martin promoted fighter from Chicago. That's going to come in. It'll be his first fight under the promotional banner. We have Victor Hernandez, who has fought in Nashville and will be coming back. He has a pretty good following there. So he's looking to defend his title, and then hopefully before the end of the year. We actually just called out one of the Vargas brothers, and we're trying to get that fight made. We're trying to get that fight made for later in the year at Pachanga. But Vargas didn't want to take the fight, which was surprising to me.
Vargas as in Fernando Vargas?
As in his son.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So it's okay. Everybody has their own reasons at why he didn't want to take the fight at this time. But Jalapeno is 100%. He's going to burn your ass. So he's coming. And they can't run. They can only run so long, and he'll.
Please tell me you put that on a shirt, Christy.
Yeah, I think Jalapeno has that on his shirt.
Yes. Jalapeno will burn your ass.
Yes. So we're looking forward, and he has Vargas in his sights. So we want to make that fight. It's two up and coming young fighters that we even have talks with one of the major organizations about a belt. So that fight's gonna happen. Maybe who knows? We bring that to Nashville in August. But we're coming back. Nashville's gonna be our May 17th again. Fat Bottom Brewery. Get your tickets. Don't miss it. It's gonna be a great night of boxing.
Is that going to be televised by any chance?
It's actually gonna be. Thank you. It's gonna be live streamed on millions.com. We have some really cool sponsors there. Fightbook, which is coming out now. Fightbook is just trying to make a presence with a place where the promoters, fighters, managers can go and see like what fighters have their medicals, what venues are available in certain areas. What
Christy, you said millions.com as in millions dollars?
Yes. Millions.com. Yes. Yep. That's it.
All right.
Yes.
Now, if anybody's watching that would like to fight under you, what would they have to do to be able to get picked up by you, or to send you videos to say, hey, I would like to be promoted by Christy Martin's promotions, or how would they go about on getting something like that done?
Reach out. I'm easy to be found. We're on all the social media sites. Send us a message. You know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for young fighters that want to fight. My guys fight. They don't get to have laydowns. Yeah.
I'm ready, Christy. I'm ready.
He falls out and you have to get, a guy that's really not up to the level that you guys are. You have to do that sometimes. But that's not what we go in looking for. We go in looking for fights. Our guys fight. Devin Parrish, the kid from Chicago, he's going to be fighting another undefeated kid, Nashville, May 17th. That's what we do. We make our guys fight.
I got a question for you. That's right. And if they don't want to fight, we put jalapeno up their ass and they're going to fight.
That's right.
Nah,
that's right.
Hey, Christy, I want to meet this jalapeno guy. What about you, Flaco?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't heard of him, so we want to know who he is. One day, maybe we can bring him on, or see if he's watching right now. So hey, come on, we can see him.
Yeah.
I should have made sure he was going to be on. We can come on anytime. I have him. Mexican fighter, like I told you, he's Mexican and Puerto Rican, so he has that inner fight all the time. And then we have Tony Aguilar, who's a really good, the Mexican fighter, 130-pounder out of Florida. Devin Parrish out of Chicago. We have, Keemon Evans he's also out of Florida. I love Florida, so I'm a little bit connected. And any of those guys just signed this kid. Now this is a interesting signing because he's a top 10. Tobar Apochi. This kid can fight. We just signed him. He's in the top 10. He could have been in the talks with this Badu Jack fight, but he broke a bone in his foot in his fight about 5 weeks ago. So he just got out of the boot. This kid's gonna be a world champion. I'm gonna say within 12 months we'll be putting a title around his waist.
Wow, that's awesome. So do you go around?
What's his name again?
Right. Oh, go ahead.
EFETO.
What's his name again?
Tobar Apochi.
I'm trying to Google him.
EFETOBOR. Apochi. APOCHI. He's on there.
Go ahead, Flaco. Go ahead.
Oh, so do you travel to see these fighters, or like how do you hear about them? Like to say, hey, you got to come see this fighter. He's off the chain. You need to come see him in person. Do you just travel to see these fighters, or how do you come across these fighters?
We're traveling all the time, so we run into people, and like with Devin Parrish, I know his coach George Hernandez from Chicago. We also just signed a kid down in Louisiana that's friends with Victor Hernandez, Jalapeno. Sheldon is a 122-pounder that has a great upside. He's only 2-0 or 3-0. So the sky's the limit for this guy. A lot of personality, a lot of attitude. I like that, because I like that smack talking, confident. Right. I like that. Yeah, I'm guilty. I like to be around guys that I don't have to, egg them on a little bit. Like, hey, go ahead. Tell them that you're going to knock them out. It's okay. Because, like I said, you have to make yourself stand out.
Right. Hey, and real quick, talking about going back to Hobbs, when we were in Hobbs, there was a boxer there that me and Gordo, we really took a liking to him because the whole time we did our podcast, he was in our background. Our video camera could see him. And you went up there and gave him a compliment after the fight. She was a young kid. I think he was the pre-main event, the co-main event. Do you remember?
Yeah, he was co-main event.
But what was his name though? He was a smaller kid.
I forgot I ate breakfast, so sometimes I take a lot of notes. I have sticky pads everywhere.
Yeah, I can't remember if I ate sausage or bacon, and you want me to remember.
It wasn't Shorty, was it? No, they had a nickname.
That's Bubba's name.
Yeah, I knew that was his name.
Yeah, it was a big name. God, I can't remember, dude.
But that kid,
I can't remember.
You're talking about you look for fighters that, like you said, you don't want to hype them up. You want them to come hype themselves to be able to hype. You want them to feed off of their own hype. That you do. I mean, that shouldn't be. Yeah, you're a trainer and stuff. You're a promoter. You want to kind of get them going, but when they do it themselves and they have that high energy, it's like, yeah, I feed off of it too. And that kid in Hobbs, we got that. Monkey, that's his name. And Monkey, he was the whole time. We weren't even interviewing him. He was just in the background. And the whole time, Gordo was asking me, he said, man, is that kid going to sit down? He just stayed warming up the whole time. And he was just going, and his dad and him were just at it. And I mean, going back to, like I told you, having heart, having the dedication, and like you said, don't make this a job, make it something you love to do. And that was what we're talking about. When you sit there and you just, that's all you want. Like that day, he was the co-main event. And from the beginning, I started the podcast, he was just back there, just boom, 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 getting warmed up, doing the gloves and everything. He never sat down. He stayed ready. Because that's what he wanted. And he knew he was fighting an older kid, a heavier kid. He knew he had to fight. He knew he had to move. And that whole time he trained for it up into the moment where they called his name to get in the ring. And I think that's kind of like what you're saying. You want fighters like that are going to take it to heart. They're going to go in there. They're not going to just take it as, well, win or lose, I get a purse out of this because I got, you want to go out there and you want to win. And you want that heart. And I'm gonna say this, like some people, they love it so much when they finally lose their first match. And I can say this because I've gone through it. When you lose your first match, that's the hardest thing than training to come back from that, because you start to doubt yourself. You start to think, do I have what it takes to get back in there? Maybe I wasn't as good as I thought I was. And that's the thing. Everybody in this world needs to realize you're not going to win them all, but you can learn and become a champion. I use this phrase with my kids in baseball. You got to know how to be a loser before you can be a champion. And that's the hardest part. Right. You got to bounce back from that and say, hey, I can do this. Because I go back to Ronda Rousey. She was in UFC. She was living the high life. Nobody could beat her. And, she was doing great. And the minute she lost her first fight, not that she lose physically, but she lost mentally. She was gone. She didn't know how to bounce back from that. And she never really did. I mean, to be honest with you, she never really did to come back and stay with it. And that's one thing I try to tell people. That's the hardest thing, I think, in my opinion, is when you, in anything in life, even doing what I do, comedy and stuff, you go and you're like, oh man, I've been crushing it. I've been doing good. I'm in this and that. And then all of a sudden you have a bad day. Poof. You start to think, maybe this ain't my calling. And that's the hardest thing.
You're right. What sucks with boxing, what's hard is you train 2 months, 3 months for this one fight. What if you wake up that morning and that morning you just don't feel good? Guess what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You still have to go out there and perform. So you have to mentally make your body physically work. So, and you never know. I mean, it could just be that day. Why does it have to be this day that we have to have the fight? Why couldn't it have been yesterday? Or why couldn't it be tomorrow? No, it's today. So you have to be ready. That's one of the things that people never take into consideration, or they think you just show up and fight. They don't think about all the hours and the rounds and the time that you spent, the miles you ran to get ready for that one night.
Right. A lot of people don't realize the work.
Yeah,
you put,
for 15 minutes.
yeah.
For
A lot of people
for
don't realize-
less than 30 minutes.
Right. A lot of people don't realize what you put in before a fight. The training, the separation from your family, the separation from the worldly things to be focused on that one night, and what you have to sacrifice to be able to make sure you're physically and mentally ready for that fight that you got coming up. And that goes back to, like you said, if you see it as a job, guess what? You're going to get knocked out. You're going to get hurt because you're not mentally in this thing. You're just there to clock in as a paycheck, and you're not there to actually put up the fight. You're just there to do your job and collect a check.
That's right.
And then that's where people get hurt. That's where a lot of people get hurt. But go back onto your life before we have to get off this thing. What was your most memorable moment of your career to say, man, this is the highlight of my career?
That's
Wow.
a good question.
It's a great question because there were so many different. I can't even say there was one time that there's not really one thing. Of course, as the fights go, it's always going to be the Gordo fight because that was the fight. The bloody nose. I always say that's the most profitable bloody nose in boxing history. That fight really elevated me and women's boxing to a place where no one. I mean, I could never dream that some of the stuff that has happened to me in boxing would have happened. That was awesome. To get the fight in Madison Square Garden, crazy, unbelievable. To make those same steps that, Ali and Frazier and even before them, I mean, Bojack, all these guys that really got the fight in the Garden, Duran, all those great legends, to make those same steps is unbelievable. I got to be the Grand Marshal for the Boxing Hall of Fame in 1996, coming off that Gordo fight. Again, unbelievable. So I've had being promoted by Don King, fighting under Mike Tyson, fighting with Julio. Julio's one of my favorite fighters ever. Meeting Camacho. I can't even say there was one thing. There's so many. I'm a coal miner's daughter from a little town of 500 people in southern West Virginia. How in the hell did I get to this place?
It's funny you said that because that's the way I feel about talking to you right now. Is how in the hell did I ever get a chance to talk to Christy Martin?
That's sweet. I appreciate that. You guys are awesome.
It's cool because I mean,
Real
like
quick,
I said,
your fighter, Curtis Harper. Champions have heart. It's not about a belt or a trophy. It's about picking yourself back up after a knockout and getting back in the ring. I feel like I need to eat a jalapeno now.
That sounds like a challenge for somebody.
But Kurt,
I know, right? Hey, you know what, Curtis?
Dude, and jalapeno is 126 pounders, so yeah.
Oh.
So he probably meant he was gonna eat jalapeno. Dang, golly, Kurt. That's cannibalism, sir. That's cannibalism.
Yeah. So going back to everything that happened to you, I know we're getting close to the end of the show here. Just to recap on everything, we talked about the things that happened in your life and what your ex-husband had put you through and stuff. What advice would you give anybody that is watching right now that might have that might be going through something like that and think, I don't know what to do at this point? What would you tell them right now?
Even though you feel alone and they've convinced you that you're alone, you're not. There's someone out there that not only want to help you, they can help you. Every city, every town, there's some kind of domestic violence shelter close by. Reach out to them. And I understand it's hard to reach out to friends and family. Many times they don't believe you when you tell them, or, maybe they don't believe you, but they don't not believe you, but they don't 100% believe you either. Like they can't see it. So you have to reach out to somebody sometimes that's outside of friends and family, but they're out there. Christy's Champs. We're all over social media. They message me, and I will get you help. I will get you into the right person in your area. If you need to get out immediately, message me. We'll help you get out. We'll help you get to a hotel. We'll help you get to a different city if that's what you need to do. Don't stay, because you don't know when that day is the day that they're going to break. They could have been making threats. And sometimes people make threats for so long that you stop listening to the threats. You never know. It maybe today will be the day that they make good on that threat. So don't stay. Don't give them the opportunity. Everybody's not going to be as lucky as I was, able to get up and get out. Don't give them the opportunity to harm you physically, to harm you any more mentally, emotionally. Get out. Do not stay.
Well said.
Wow.
Said.
That was amazing.
Yes. Man, Christy, I don't know how to this, but I am so excited to have you back on our podcast. And this time we got to advertise it and let people know that you were going to be with us. And just to be able to call you my friend and to be able to have you on our podcast is like you said earlier, you said about all the other people you met in your life in boxing. How in the hell did I have this happen? And that's the exact same thing I say every day when I talk about you and the other people that I've met. That's the reason I asked you, what is your highlight? Because I've had the opportunity to meet so many people, and I'm just like you. I mean, our town's a little bit bigger, but I came from, not having a lot of things in my life and not finishing school and stuff. So, a lot of my things against me were the odds were against me and not be able to be successful in this life or to meet the people that I met. And I'm so blessed to put you on that list, to be able to say, look at who I've met. This person is very important, very inspiring. And I mean, like I said, I'm blessed to have met you in person, not only on the podcast. And me and Gordo have been talking about it, and I've been talking to people here. I would love to bring you down to Midland, Texas for an event to be able to speak about your story. And I know a lot of people here that are your fans now today because they watched your documentary. And I look forward to working with you to try to bring you to this area so they can see you in person and to be able to meet you in person. Like I've told everybody, it's one thing to talk to you and see you on the podcast or on the phone or on a documentary, but to meet you in person.
Hey, by the way, sorry to interrupt. She comes with Lisa, and that's another amazing individual.
Right.
It's a twofer.
And Champ comes too.
Yeah, Champ.
Yeah.
A pup.
Oh, yeah, I forget about Champ.
Yeah, going back to that, talking about Lisa coming with you, the coworker that I have, she said, man, you imagine running into them two and you think you're going to talk your shit and then they both whip your ass.
It's funny.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You don't know it.
Man, Christy has been, go ahead, Flaco.
Oh, I was telling her, I said, yeah, people don't know people, and let's just say they see y'all somewhere, not even knowing y'all's history, y'all's past, and they just mouth off. I was like, man, they're going to get their ass whooped. One's going to whoop you from the back, and the other one's going to whoop you from the front. They're going to just use you as a punching bag, going back and forth, the speed bag.
The good thing is, one of us, if I get a little bit upset with something,
Champ's biting your ankles, right?
Calm me down. And then if Lisa gets a little bit upset about something, I try to calm her down. So the best thing is we've been so far so good. We've not both been angry at the same situation at the same time. So hopefully we can continue that.
See, that's me and Flaco.
Yeah. You got to balance each
yeah.
other.
Yeah, that's me and Flaco.
Yeah. Balance. Look at my weight. Look at his. There's not a balance there. He's kind of outweighed.
Yeah. No, there is a balance because look, I carry the weight and he eats all the food. If you be real, Flaco eats more than me.
Yeah, that is.
It's a messed up balance though, if you ask me. Christy, once again, thank you so much for being on the podcast. Amazing time. Make sure you follow Miss Christy on social media, Christy Martin. Make sure you go to ChristyMartin.net or ChristyChamps.org to learn not only more about resources to help you, but to learn more about Christy's mission and what she's doing in the community of domestic violence, and not only that, working with the youth in boxing.
Hey, we didn't even give nobody a chance to even ask any questions. Cause you asked all the questions, Gordo. We didn't even ask nobody, but
we'll have to come back on, and we can get Jalapeno on whenever you guys are ready. We'll get Jalapeno, and maybe we can get Jalapeno and Tony, and maybe Little Man will come on with them and promote the fight for Nashville.
Yeah, Little Man Curtis.
One of these days, we're going to have to go to one of your fights and do a podcast there like we did in Hobbs to be able to interview people before the fight, even after the fight.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're going to be at Pachanga in July.
In July?
California, yep. Or you can come to Nashville. I mean, we would love to have you in Nashville. We'd love to have you every time. Come on out.
Dude, I would love to go to Nashville, dude.
Talk about Sydney Sweeney playing me in the movie, but I know you guys are done, and I need to call my dad.
All right. Well, and with that being said,
thank you, Miss Christy.
Thank you.
With that being said, Miss Christy, real quick before you get off, we want to send our condolences to you and to your family.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Have a good night, Miss Christy.
Have a good night, guys.
Guys, that was Christy Martin. Hall of Fame, Flaco. We forgot to mention that. Hall of Fame female boxer.
Man, to hear
the miner's daughter.
To hear that invite, Gordo, to be able to come back with some of her fighters back on our podcast, man. Tell me that ain't cool, brother.
I think we need to make a trip to Nashville, bro.
I tell you,
what's funny is I've always wanted.
We need to get out of our room.
I've always wanted to see Nashville, bro.
You're gonna go down.
Always wanted to see Nashville. Yeah, I've always wanted to see Nashville, bro. And I think it'd be a good opportunity, man. Thank you for the ones that are watching, man. And once again, if you want to learn more about Christy Martin, if you enjoyed, and guys, this was just a little bit of her story. Right. If you want to hear more into detail, you need to hop on Netflix. Making a Deal with the Devil. Christy Martin. You need to see that. And so you can understand. So when she gets back on here at a later date, you understand and you can ask questions, man. Once again, Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame boxer. It's insane. How many people can say I had an opportunity to speak to a Hall of Fame women boxer? You know?
Right.
So yeah, man, don't miss out. Definitely look at that Netflix special, man. Yes, Bezel Leva, watch the documentary, man. It's on Netflix, and you're gonna thank us. You're gonna thank us, especially if you have gone through domestic violence, or maybe you know somebody who's going through domestic violence, and you go, man, how can I help this person? Huh?
You know what I forgot to ask her, and I had it. There's a movie coming out about her.
Yeah, she just mentioned.
Oh, she
said it at the end. You didn't catch on? Yeah, somebody's playing her named Sweeney. Yeah, there's a movie about her coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for sure, definitely gonna talk to her about that next time, Flaco.
Hey, real quick, man, we got to give a shout out to our sponsors because without our sponsors, we wouldn't have.
We couldn't do this.
We couldn't do none of it. So, I mean, guys, real quick, brother, show our sponsorship because I can go on and on. I want to thank them because opportunities like this that we have to be able to talk to these famous people, these Hall of Famers, these boxers, it's only possible because of our sponsorships. Please support them because they support us. Show the video, Gordo.
Video live.
Miranda.
Soy medio rumbero, rumbero y salvaje, bailo a mi manera.
Man, couldn't be able to do it without them guys, man. Guys,
real quick,
you guys don't want to miss out, next week, open mic night here on Gordo and Flaco, the last 20 minutes of our podcast. 5 minutes. We're just asking you for 5 minutes. You got new material? This is the time to showcase it. Don't be scared. You want to try comedy and go, hey man, let me think if this is for me. Well, here you go.
That's right. This is your chance, baby, to come out here and do your thing. Hey, I got a text right now from one of our sponsors. He's having an event, Mr. Jimmy, at the 87th Lounge on May 10th, 2025. I guess he's having like a DJ face off. That's what I'm reading here. It's a super shot Saturday, year one festival fiesta. So I guess they're having like a different DJs are going to be there. There's going to be 3 DJs are going to be there. They have women's prizes and stuff. They're going to have bull riding and photo booths and all that. The mechanical bull.
Not only is it a DJ battle, the reigning, defending DJ will be defending his title.
Who's that?
DJ, I can't remember his name, carnal, but it's like Marquez or something like that. He's actually defending his title because this is the second time they do this event. Only they're going bigger and better this time. They're putting bulls in the photo booth, and he will be defending his title.
It's a 1-year anniversary. So this has been a year. That's what he just texted me right now. It's a 1-year anniversary. Jamie, if you're watching, man, say what's up, brother. Say what's up on the podcast. So
man, let me tell you, they've been supportive as heck, man.
They have.
Let me tell you,
on one sponsor, everybody on there has supported us big time. And Jimmy, I mean, like I said, everybody has done it, but Jimmy has gone a little bit above and beyond to have us at his place, showing things and letting us go there and do podcasts. He supported us 110%.
Yeah. Hey man, special shout out to the Sanchez family and 87 Lounge and West Texas Gloveman, bro. They reached out to me and personally said, "Hey, Gordo, happy birthday! Happy to be, a part of it." So,
hey,
thank you, man.
Man, baby, they make anything you want. We do have some stuff coming out. Well, I do. Gordo, you have to get on it, baby. I got stickers coming out with the mariachi and everything already. I'm going to have hats. So you got to come out with your little mariachi guy right there on the side of you.
Hey, güey, ese güey no es mariachi, güey, sino que ese güey nomás tenía hambre, güey, and that was the only way he can get into the Mexican restaurant, so le robó la pinche trumplet a un güey.
He went in there to go sing.
Yeah, he said, chinga, me van a dar un number 2 con nacho cheese y me...
¿Cuánto cobras por una canción? 2 platos.
2 platos, carnal. Extra avocado.
Y con salsa, por favor.
Because, avocado, güey, está $10, güey, por un 4-ounce, güey. So.
Yeah. No, but hey, real quick, let me go back to Sanchez family for all their photographs and stuff they do. They do an awesome job.
No. Stop right there, Flaco.
Oh, okay.
Do it right.
Okay. Here we go.
There we go. Play the music.
Ya es la hora del Gordo y Flaco Chisme Hour. We'd like to give a big shout out to our sponsors at this time. If you're out looking for a house, you want to call Andrea Hill Legacy Real Estate. And if you're finding a house and you're driving around town and you want to just go see what you get hungry, you want to go see what there is to eat while you're driving around, go see Renee Anthony. He'll feed you and get you back on track to go look for your house. You find a house that needs some work. You don't want to buy a house that's already fixed up. You want to remodel yourself, a fixer-upper. You call Joe Vasquez. He'll hook you up and get you going. After that, you find a house and you need some water, some clean water. You call Newstream with Renee. And then after you find your house and everything, you call Sanchez Family Video Photography, and then they go out there and take a picture with you at your front of your brand new house. And then you go home, put you on some West Texas Club, man. Shut up. Some apparel. And then you go out to the club that night. You go to 87th Lounge. 87th Lounge. Not only is it
$4 shots.
Hey, tell them what they can see at 87th Lounge.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Kaylee's right there. Mira, Kaylee's right there. Wait, I can't wait.
I just wanted to tell you guys, it's a nice place.
It's a very nice place.
Hey, there's a bear right there getting ready to hit you, dog. They're like, say something, fool. Say something.
I'm just saying. We will
I
upload a video.
He said, I just watched Christy Martin. I'll give you a left and a right, fool. You'll be out.
We will upload a video to Gordo and Flaco Chisme Hour, so you can see what 87 Lounge.
You can see what
it's about. You can see what got Gordo on the couch.
Yeah. But no, thank you to all of our viewers, all of our sponsors for always supporting. And we want to try to bring you some more big names and big stuff. So thank y'all so much for everything. Y'all don't know what it means to me and Gordo to have y'all support us. But hey, don't forget, next week, let's see what you got. You get to do open mic with Gordo y Flaco. Take it away.
Espérate. This was another segment of Gordo
y Flaco Chisme Hour, baby.
Ahí los guachamos, perro.
Todo el mundo tocando palmas. Cumbia. Hey, ¿quién es el más cool?
Number one. Señor Miranda.